Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
Hello, Netshot
Hello.
Nation.
Welcome, guys. Wow,
Welcome back.
we got string of followers watching, man, today.
How many do we have?
Wow, 1,000 followers, hey.
Oh,
1,000
it's going
people
up. It's going up.
viewing
Now,
me.
power is going up already.
Power,
Wow.
bro. Power. Wow, man.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, for those who are viewing our show right now, thank you so much for tuning in, man. We appreciate it. Help us share the video on your own social media. You know what's the drill. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Share the video. All right.
Yeah.
Noah, how are you feeling, man? Especially now your team has kind of like gotten back into the groove.
Wow. I think I've been in the cave for like maybe I think 2 game weeks. Maybe because Frankfurt draw us, and maybe also the Spurs lost against our North London Derby rivals. So, I think finally back out of the cave. I think you can turn on the light already.
Turn
Okay,
on the light, brother.
turn on the light, man. See, I'm back in the cave. I'm back, man.
Oh, right. Now it's happening. So
Yeah, man.
Poppy. So for those who are watching us now, like I said, thank you so much for tuning in, man. Tuesday. The usual crew unfortunately can't be online, so they are send their regards, like on behalf of the Napshot crew, we really appreciate you guys. Okay, most important thing, share the videos. We are gonna cover 3 good topics.
I think it's
The
4.
four, is it four? Oh yeah, four. Yeah, four. I
Four
forgot
good
it.
topics.
Four
Yeah.
good topics. 4 good topics, and then we're gonna cover the game week 10 review as well. Okay, so we have our guests. We have a Liverpool fan, and we have a Chelsea fan. I don't know why the Arsenal fan is not here. We win comprehensive top of the table.
Still celebrating, man. He's still
Celebrating.
celebrating. Maybe having a pint of beer. Maybe still at the bar, man. I think what to do? Gotta like suck it up. Cause
Are we like now like the winners, the people who are all the getting the W's, right? Not turning up for the shows.
yeah, I realized. Hey, but I just got the W. What I mean, Fighter versus Spurs is still a W, bro.
No, that's very weird. I was like, like where's the Arsenal fan? Oh, it's oh
Oh,
oh, it looks like
wow, the Arsenal fan is here.
finally. We thought that he's not gonna come in.
Wow.
Okay, so let's cover the very first topic. We're gonna hit hard. We're gonna hit where it hurts the most. The Arsenal Liverpool game. And
Wow.
we're gonna talk about the Arsenal game. We're gonna talk about the controversial, whether is it a penalty or not.
Oh, whether
And of
it's not.
course, we're gonna bring in the two rivals. We're gonna bring in the two rivals of the previous game. We're gonna got East from the Liverpool half, Virgin from the show. Hello,
Hello.
East. Then we have Guru. Final.
Hey,
Look at the name.
49
Eh,
undefeated,
49
man.
undefeated. Shades of the invincible era.
It still lingers.
One in the White Hart Lane, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, and we will have a neutral rival fan. The revival from the blue half of London. We have Alexander, Chelsea. Right?
See you guys.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for being available to be our guest for tonight's show. We really appreciate it, me and Noah, and on behalf of the Napshop crew. Okay, so Noah, let's open the table. Let's talk about this. Arsenal, can they be
Arsenal,
considered
man.
a genuine contender now? We will talk to Guru after we go through the cycle from East and then Alexander, and then we'll hear from the current man of the moment, the fans. Okay, right. So, Is your opinions, man, about Arsenal, their form this season? What do you think about it?
Sad to say, man, it's quite admirable. It's disappointing for me to see, but it's all admiration and respect for them as far. Close to nothing, and for Leicester this season, honestly. I mean, it hurts for me to say the obvious rivals for us not to win. I guess it's not gonna hurt that much, but I had a terrible Monday because of that. So yeah.
Terrible Monday.
We will talk about the game, definitely. We will talk about how that loss impact and then we'll transition that nicely to the next topic. So okay. So Alexander, your thoughts, man? Seeing your
Yeah.
your red half of London doing so well for the London.
I mean, as a football fan, it's really exciting to see young players making their marks and Saka make a big difference in the Premier League. But at the same time, I will be cautious. I won't so fast jump off and think that Arsenal are going to win or a contender because there's still so much to say. And then what worries me is Arsenal is quite one-sided. Like their game plan is quite fixed. So what if other team have found the counter to it? Man City, you can have 5 men on Haaland, but then the rest you can score. You can take one out, the rest you can do some damage. Everyone can score, everyone can assist. So that's my point of view right now.
Interesting point there. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the man of the hour, Arsenal fans. Guru, come on, Guru. Hit us with your thoughts.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yes.
Okay. It's a very exciting time to be an Arsenal fan. But at the same time, there's a bit of caution in your mind at the back of it. It's like, with Arsenal, when it's always going too well, right? Something is going to happen. So it's like every single game is like you're expecting something wrong to go, but I think they are really pulling through this time around. It's a shock to even Arsenal fans themselves.
So you guys didn't expect how Arteta, because I think for the past 2 seasons, I think there was that brigade where it's Arteta out, Arteta in, that kind.
Yeah. It was going back and forth.
Yeah. So are you prior to this season, are you Arteta in or Arteta out?
I wasn't in nor out. I just wanted to give him the time to see what happens. I just didn't want to rush into it because there were at times where you could genuinely see the effect that he has taken over the whole club. And then at times it just goes the opposite way. So it's like, I think he was just finding his foot and I think he's getting there now slowly. I still wouldn't put it up there saying that he's having a perfect game every single time. There has been mistakes in all the games, but I think he's slowly actually, he's making a lot of amends to it and it's starting to be more prominent over there.
Interesting. That's quite humble in that sense from Guru there, as an Arsenal fan, saying that it's like being cautious, but I mean you guys are top of the table. You guys are in a way performing well, beyond the expectations of even for the fellow fans, for Arsenal fans, so do you guys have the European distraction in that sense? You guys only have Europa, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, we have Europa, but how do I put it? Like when you compare ourselves with Man City, the depth that they have, basically their subs they are another 11, another first 11 team.
Yeah.
So it's like when they play, let's say when they go for the Champions League, right? It's a lot of depth in that team for them to just play around. They can really rest a lot of good players and so on, and still have a good team to play. But when it comes to Arsenal, I think we are still striking it a bit lucky with our sub team that we use for Europa, where still you can see some of our first 11 team players playing the full 90 minutes at times. So I think that would slowly start to hit us injury wise and these start things. So I think it would be after World Cup. That's when you really need to see how the second half of the season is going to be and how is everyone going to cope with it.
True. I mean, that's the main concern. Once the World Cup starts, I think that's where the challenge of depth in terms of like squad depth comes in place,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, Noah, come on, let's pick up the comments. Who do we have? Same
Heikel
here, Heikel.
Ismail.
It's
Same
first
here.
new one. Welcome, man. Thank you for coming to the show, man. Ridwan, Mio.
Hello, my man. What up, guys? Let's enjoy the show tonight. Yeah, bro. You definitely enjoy it, man. Yay. Yay.
Why? Who's
Well,
it?
Who's
LBZ.
But thank you for tuning into the show. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Why so dark, Noah? Obviously, bro, I was out. It was in the cave, I was in the cave for like a good 2 games, And then obviously I had to come out of the cave already, right?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, who do you have else? Arsenal fan don't
Maybe.
want to. Oh, this is what this is. Going to Guru because Guru came in late.
Hey,
Okay.
hello, Mervin. Thanks for tuning into the show, man.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Sunil. Yeah, Sunil, the Habibi, the Newcastle Habibi.
Nice to see fresh faces. Welcome, lads.
Okay.
And this one,
Okay. This is interesting. So now shots are fired. Heikel, definitely. I think this one Heikel, confirm Liverpool fan.
yeah.
Heikel,
Confirm,
if you're a Liverpool fan, please comment so we know that you are a Liverpool fan so that we can talk about this. Which transition nicely to we're gonna talk about the interesting events in the game. Okay, I think Noah and I and Is and I think Alexander we were talking about it. Was it the penalty? The penalty shout. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean the Thiago clip on who the Thiago clip on Gabriel Jesus. I want to hear from a Liverpool fan first. Do you think it's a penalty?
After watching the replay and of course the live, I think the clip was, it was a clear clip, right? But I think ultimately, if you ask me, of course, as a Liverpool fan, of course, no penalty lah, right? But to be fair, I think Gabriel Jesus made a meal out of that. Honestly lah, in my opinion. I mean, of course, Diaz is is one of the example of those kind of players where gets a bit of touch and then he will fall. Let's just say adequately lah. Okay. But I think for me, it wasn't a penalty.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Then I want to hear from a Chelsea fan.
It's it's a 50-50 lah. I mean, like footballer will know it's like it's known to be they will drop easily. It's they will do anything to win the penalty. So yeah. So it's like how to say it's up to the referee decision at this point. And, yeah.
How about the mighty Gunners?
Guru.
Okay, like if you ask me, basically, I would say it is a penalty in the sense that if it happened outside of the box, it's definitely given as a foul. But I don't know whether there will be a card shown or not. But since it was in the box, and I think Gabriel squeezed the most out of it, so he went down and then it went through the whole process of give me the penalty, and everyone started shouting to the referee. So I think he just split into it and then he just pointed to the spot.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Okay, we have if it was Spurs, say Kane or Son was fouled by an Arsenal player, it would be foul. Similar soft foul Arsenal received against Man United. Okay, I think for me personally, right, I think we all are amateur footballers. So we will definitely try to milk whatever is the dark. I call it the dark arts of football. If we play football, I think when you have that opportunity to do such trickery, you definitely would try.
To get something out of it.
Yeah, because I mean, it looks at it. Worst case scenario, what you will get a yellow card because of what's that term? Shit. Suddenly simulating. Yes, simulating. So
Gamesmanship.
if you look at it, if it goes the other way, if Liverpool got that penalty, I think we would definitely be talking about it as well. So you can never please the armchair football or the fans watching the game, because it's either or. Like if it's not given, then we will still talk about it. If it's given to Liverpool, we will still talk about it. If it's given to any other teams, we will talk about it. So I feel that it comes back to the point that I think the common occurrence that we always talk about it. For me personally, I think no one knows lah. I'm a huge opponent of the VAR. So in this case, right, like if you look at it, like the VAR be in place in terms of like calling it, whether is it a soft foul or is it it's not given, so it's really very tricky lah to that sense lah.
See, that's where the discrepancy comes in. Till today, there is no definitive answer to who makes the call.
Yes.
At times it's the referee, at times it's the VAR. And then whenever they ask, is the referee supposed to make the decision, they will say, no, VAR has to make the decision. When you ask if the VAR needs to make the decision, they will just say the referee needs to make the decision. So it's like they're just passing the ball to each other, no, it's his fault. No, it's my fault. That's what's happening right now.
But then comes back to the question. I think like what I said. Then what's the point of the VAR if the VAR cannot be enforced?
Yes.
I mean, like we asked East about it. Like what's your take about VAR? Is it useful? I mean, from the start of when it was introduced in the EPL till today.
I agree with what Sunil is it?
Guru.
I agree with Guru. It's you know who's making the end decision, and it's like it's like VAR. They say it's certain to, it's like for sure a foul, and then you can check it here and there. But then it's like flipping a coin, even with the cameras and the technology involved. If it's clear for us as fans, especially, then of course we will see it as a foul, right? But it's like AI judging like the foul at the end of the day. So it's still not confirmed. It's basically not converting as us as fans lah. Like it doesn't like makes us feel like what we see is what we get. See, if it's a clear foul, it's a clear foul. If it's not, then it's not. So it's still a 50-50 for me, and I mean the refs nowadays also quite shit lah. So cannot say much. So.
We are trying to say best league with the worst referees ever lah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Alexander, your point, your view about VAR. Whether you are a supporter or an opponent.
It's quite in the middle. Like I agree that VR is needed, but I feel that it's not completely well implemented. Like because like before the VR, we have the ghost goal in the World Cup. People it's caused the England loss, and that's like people see the need of a replay of some sort. And also in the EPL, you see that there's a lot of outside call, and then like the many time fans are arguing with each other. It's like it's getting too common. So some sort of replayability need to be there. And then actually VR was created is in advantage of the referee, that the referee is still the one that made the final call. That was the first intention, but then like I was in like the football seminar before, and this was idea, but then to put it in the implementation, like so it's like so the referee made a call, and then like he go look at the VAR, and then like if you see they made a wrong mistake, then are you going to just insist on your decision? It's like quite a gray area. If you get what I mean. So they have to so end up kind of I see this VR like that, so naturally I have to like follow it lah. So you see the passing ball effect. So yes, I think we need to come up with some ways to make it much more structured. That's my point.
I
Haikal,
think
scrap
we
the
have
VR.
we have that Liverpool fan who is going to say he's an opponent of VAR. So I think
Haikal. For this one, Eza was mentioning that VR wasn't considered for that penalty. Okay, I didn't watch the game, so I kind of like uh was thinking like, how come the VAR was not in place? Because I mean, if you look at it, the idea of the VR is supposed to support the referee, assist the referee in making calls, which if they feel that they need to, have a second confirmation.
See, that's the main thing. Either every single foul, every single thing which comes into notification, right, should be go and check the VAR,
Mm,
or it should be purely just the referee comes with the decision whether he needs to check the VAR or not. In this case, maybe they felt that the referee had a clear view of sight of what was happening, so they let it
mm,
go. And then
mm,
people are definitely going to get the double standard, lah, thinking why isn't
yeah.
VAR check on this?
oh yeah. Then it comes to that point of I think where I don't know who, but Gabriel's handball.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Do you think
Yes.
that is Do you think that is definitely a penalty?
For me, I personally, I would say that penalty should be given. But as an Arsenal fan, this is what I was doing, lah. Just waiting for the VAR to finish, Just waiting for the VAR to finish. But of course, when you see, because we have seen people get penalties for lesser than that as an handball.
Hmm.
So it was a very controversial part of it. And then the referee was like checking VAR and then no. And then carry on with the play. So for me, I was feeling that, okay, damn, we're lucky.
This is interesting from Mio. Scrap the VAR. See how and then all decision like high tackle or dangerous tackle, how referee want to have a clue. But here's the thing. You look at it, right? Like we enjoyed football without the VAR. You know, if you look at it as football fans, all the football moments, if you imagine the VAR comes in place, right? You know, it takes away that beauty of the controversial topics, like we will not talk about it. Okay, let's put this perspective, like I mean from a City fan, right? If VAR was in place in 2012, right? City fans will be like, are we supposed to celebrate? That organic celebration will definitely be muted, because now if you look at it, even for VAR now, like for goal celebration, right, you cannot celebrate, because you know why? You will look at the referee. Is the referee going to give? Because the referee will be like in that decision of like, should I consult the VAR? Should I check from the ref? Should I check from the assistant referee? So it takes away that beauty of football in the, whether is it a controversial or even killing that emotional aspect. And if you're talking about the VAR not doing their job, then I mean, you should be clear lah. If like what you mentioned, is it going to be for every decision, every fouls, or every decision that the referee cannot make a clear point? Or should we just scrap? Because you cannot have one standards for this and then you don't apply it to another, for another game. Because people will be comparing, like, hey, how come, Gabriel's handball wasn't given? And then, maybe further down the month, season, there's another similar way of foul or tackle or even handball. Then people will be talking about it. Then then people will come back to that question of, is VAR actually doing its job? And if it's not, then we should be looking at streamline. Because if you look at it, I think EPL is the only league in the world that the referee has become terrible, even with the technology of VR. That's really
All
mind-boggling,
decisions
like.
have become more controversial now.
Yeah.
Every single decision just comes under scrutiny now. That's what's happening. And
Yeah.
like they go like once you score a goal, they go back like 1 minute ago what foul happened, and then they go and check that whether they should allow or disallow the goal. I think maybe they should have a time cap as to how long it should be when they score a goal and then when they can check the foul.
Yeah, and then the best part is that the VR is not AI control. There's actually a referee, who is actually seeing the game from a bird's eye view, and then you have that communication where, okay, I've already seen it. Okay, I'm gonna give it a goal. There's you don't have to consult the VR to see like, is there, because okay lah, human error is there definitely, but you cannot be taking into account that everything. Okay, I need to check with the VAR team. Is it a goal, or is it an offside? Is it blah blah? Etc. etc. So it's really very inconsistent. And I think one of the commenter was saying referee decision making is not consistent EPL. I think we talk about it lah, you know. So okay, I think for all of us collectively, you know, with the guests here, you know, we all collectively agree lah that VAR is terrible lah.
Terrible lah, yeah. Actually, this
Okay.
referee decision became also is related to I think the United game and then also the West Ham game. I think if anyone has watched the West Ham game, right, the Antonio goal, it was also touched the hand. What? Why isn't it chalked off? And why is Rashford's goal chalked off? And I really don't know. Is I think there's something wrong with like how I don't understand what is this handball rule or what is this like what ball touch hand or hand touch ball, don't know what. It's getting very weird lah. It's very weird decision making by the referees. Like that's the reason why they aren't qualified for the World Cup or even invited to the World Cup. It's all because of this type of referee decisions.
And I don't know what his natural position.
Yeah. That will always be forever be.
Well, everyone is just
scrutinized.
supposed to run with their hands at the side like that all throughout, is it?
Yeah, this precisely.
If,
How?
if I'm not wrong, that it's quite recent. Like any touch with the hand, at first it was like natural position, so it's ambiguous. But now recently they changed it. As long as you touch the hand, is a penalty because they want me more goal. So
Maybe
a lot of
that's playing
changes.
FPL.
Okay, so we are all collectively agreed that no, we are all opponents of VAR, and Victor sums it up best. VAR, aka very absurd refereeing.
I think VAR doesn't even change the refereeing decision of anything. You know, remember even before VAR, we also say that the referees are just bad. I think even with the VAR, it's still bad. It just shows like it just shows another side of the referees. I think it shows that there's this biasness. Maybe there's this biasness, or is it more of like how the referees think about the situation, or how it's like I think it just exposes the referee somehow. I think that's
Just
where
very bad decision making.
just bad decision making lah.
Right, okay. So now, since we are talking about the Arsenal game, let's transition to the next topic, which is the Liverpool crisis. Is it more than just a blip? Okay. So latest news was that we heard that Firmino will be given that farewell. They're not renewing his contract. Must be a huge disappointment for Liverpool fans. Okay. So hearing this news, what's your opinion?
Honestly, it's pretty sad, but I think time has come for him. I think his age is catching up to him. He's not as fast as him anymore. The dribbling is there, but I think that we have to move on from I would say, Firmino trio era with Mane and Salah. I think those days, I think we should move on from there because obviously without Mane available and Salah not being at his best, I don't think it would complement his work anymore, as it would be quite hard to find wingers to support his kind of play. And I believe that wherever club he goes to, I'll continue to be happy for him. But the replacement for him is, for now, I would say currently Nunes and Jota. But it isn't looking good lah so far, because Jota, honestly, I hope that I wish that I was hoping that he would be playing better, but doesn't seem like it. And Nunes, I think, I would say next season they will start playing lah. But now it's just really sad, man. Got into good positions though in the Arsenal games, or like in the previous games, but not right now.
Okay. So Groove,
Yep.
your thoughts about Liverpool this season, how their blip is.
Okay, to be very frank, I don't feel they are at where they were the past few seasons. Like even as an Arsenal fan going into the match, right? I was not feeling afraid or any kind of nervousness in that sense. I had a strong feeling that we can get it across the line. But if you had asked me like the past few 3 or 4 seasons, I've been like, okay lah, we're just gonna go there. We're just gonna let them have a time of their life with us. And then like this season, you started to see that there were gaps in the way they were playing. So it became very prominent in that sense, like that they are not who they used to be. I don't know whether it's Klopp or maybe it's just the players. A lot of people started telling me just because they sold money, the team started crumbling. One person doesn't make the team, like if you ask me. I think it takes everyone's effort. Even Trent's form just started to dip and dip and dip, and it was very, very obvious in this match. Even Salah has gone goalless for quite a bit of time. Scores in Champions League matches, and then when he comes back to EPL, sometimes he becomes a bit non-existent in the game. So I think they really need to look into it and then see how it's really going for them. And if you ask me, Firmino leaving, it is sad, but I think he really stepped up when he was needed in the past few games.
But that's the thing, lah. Because you see, like I mean, from a neutral, from a rivals fans perspective, like I think when the Salah's contract stands still, to the point that they had to do like kind of last minute, but the expense of money leaving, to Bayern, and even that also he's not exactly having that momentum, in Bayern. So, is it about Klopp trying to, put square pegs into circle holes in terms of right now, or is this like Klopp's way of trying to tell FSG, loosen the purse? I need proper players. Because as it is, if you look at it like with Darwin Nunes, he came in with a reputation, and I think the start of the season, people were talking about how it's gonna be like Nunes versus Haaland. That challenge, and I'm talking, from taking away my City affiliation, trying to understand that, because that was like the highlight of like, wow, we have Haaland, and then we're gonna have Nunes, and Darwin is gonna light the fire after his form in Benfica. But somehow or other, like with Nunes, it feels like it was never a like for like replacement for money. In a sense, like so how is Liverpool is gonna play right now? It's really very weird. To the fact that like Salah suddenly like it's not the same Salah as we saw last season. Yeah. So what do you think about it, Alex?
It's a difficult patch for sure. But then, as what Guru say, one man doesn't change the team. I think the backbone of Liverpool is still there. It's just like for what like we must think objectively. Like when do we really observe that Liverpool drop is when, for me, is at Man U versus Liverpool, and what happened between Man U and Liverpool. Man U found the weakness of Liverpool is they can counter attack. They can give a through ball through Alexander Arnold. And then so now the thing, when one team see the weakness, everyone follows it. Everyone is targeting him, and then Liverpool have been doing well so far. They have been using one Granger pressing tactics. So now they need to transit with a new player. I feel the backbone is still there. That they are still very strong. They need to figure a way through. They need to figure things out. They need to change. They need to change. They can't go back to their old formula anymore. They need to adapt. So this period will be difficult, but I think it's a strong team. It's not something become a weak team or anything. It's something that we need to keep watch of. It's something I don't think they can win the league, but I won't sell off Liverpool having a great season this season.
Interesting. So Michael is saying gonna beat Bobby very much. Yeah, I think Liverpool fans definitely. I think they miss money, and then with the news with Firmino leaving on a free, and this is the worrying part. No, like it seems that FSG is not like making efforts to actually like renew his contract. Okay, it's been 10 games and the players and FSG has to do something. Okay, I think this is a good question to ask is about, from a Liverpool fans perspective, FSG, and I think the last game, I think Klopp he looks emotionally upset in that sense, like that loss really took the wind out of him. And if you look at it, suddenly Trent, like after one good game and then the inconsistency of, against Arsenal. So it's okay. Your thoughts, man, from a Liverpool perspective.
Yeah, my thoughts on this is that so far as being a Liverpool fan, I've been grateful to have witnessed the Premier League and Champions League at quite a young age compared to some of the Liverpool fans. But I think that the impossible can't be done the impossible way, which is how we have done it, and especially how FSG and Klopp has done it with, I would say, quite low budget compared to the rest of the teams, and how we won the Premier League, only buying Alisson and Mane, Salah. We don't really invest, and we only bought like Robertson and Van Dijk especially. I mean, we technically have only three big spendings, but those kind of tactics won't work against our continuous rivals, which are Man City, Arsenal, upcoming Arsenal, Man U. They got big pockets and very, very deep pockets. And I feel like if we don't start to utilize I think we have money. Honestly, I don't even know if we have money because we haven't been spending that much, right? But we have to start spending in order for us to keep up with. I mean, sad to say that this is the day and age, which we have to use money in order to get something that we want. It's not like last time where you start to grow from your youth and everything. But even though we have our youth, it's not gonna be like menu. You see, like the old days, they started from the ground up, and like the probabilities of that happening is, like, let's be honest, that's pretty low, right? So we have to start spending, and if we don't start now, I think it's the beginning of an end, honestly. But of course, the hopes are still high, but it's thinning game by game. So yeah.
Okay, so I just want to ask lah, does this feel like a 2021 season where you had a very big injury of Van Dijk? I think you remember when Thiago was really injured. Remember, like, I think you have all your center backs were injured. You had Gomez and Van Dijk in ACL tear. You had Thiago who was constantly injured with his ankle at that point in time. And then Mane and Salah wasn't performing at that point. Mane wasn't performing at that point in time. And then I think Jota was injured quite a few times. Does this feel like it at this point? Now FSG also not putting in money in, like, investing the squad again. And I think I read a report that only like, you only have invested only two midfielders, like, at the point in time only invested only a few midfielders, like maybe only like Thiago, Wijnaldum at the point in time, and now just Arthur Melo, who's injured now for 3 to 4 months with a surgery on his Achilles. So just want to ask, like, what is really going on in FSG? Really, what's actually does this feel like a 2021 season again?
Honestly, if you ask me, I think it's worse than the 2021 season. Because yes, our centre backs were gone, right? And we were forced to use Nat Phillips and sometimes Rhys Williams. Honestly, they did pretty, like, damn well, especially in their age. They were young, they had no experience, and they performed extremely well, especially in the Champions League. And of course, throughout the EPL games, with Mane not performing, Salah, I would say, performing-ish. But it doesn't help with our midfield situation, especially Henderson and Milner still actively playing in the squad. Honestly, should say something about our spendings. In my opinion, um, Milner and Henderson should just leave the time playing to, like, they shouldn't play as much as how they are playing right now, because I think, like, we are forced to play them because we don't have any signings, especially after getting injured. But it is definitely, in my opinion, far away from 2021 season, because it's just going downhill for this season. And if, like I said, if we don't change in terms of formation or any tactics wise, I think it's just gonna get worse for us.
Agreed.
Okay. We have a question to Guru. This is very rare. Guru, will Arsenal win the title?
My honest opinion, I think they can, but it would be a very, very uphill road towards it, lah. But I think they have that fighting spirit this time around. I think, but it will be a very hard journey for them to hit that spot. But I personally feel that they can if they really want to, because it's a totally different atmosphere over there right now. You can actually see them fighting. If it was the Arsenal of old, when we hit 2-2 draw with Liverpool, they would have just started slacking it off a bit and everything. They might have considered another goal from Liverpool, or the game would have ended at 2-2. But you could still see them fighting for it, pushing harder. I think it's quite prominent in every single game that I see them play right now. There's way more fighting spirit right now.
Nice. Okay. Okay. This is a question for Is Klopp spending 622 million since 2015. So, the bad purchases, which players do you feel that actually they kind of like over, they are way over than their expected talent in that sense? Who do you think?
Honestly, 2015, wow, bro. I mean, I was pretty young. Come on, I'm only 21. But I think there has been, honestly, whenever Klopp was in charge, I wouldn't say the signings were bad. They were with what we have achieved. What I can only say is they have helped us to win the Premier League, of course, and the Champions League. I mean, gradually to go there, right? Not like directly through that signings, but of course, Mane being one of the, if not, I would say Mane is the best signing, but the worst, I wouldn't say there's any worse, but the most, let's say,
Naby Keita.
shocking. Naby Keita. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's actually the worst. Yeah, Naby Keita. Thank you.
Shaqiri,
No, Shaqiri for me did fine as, just for the Champions League game. I think all is forgiven.
I would bet, I'll bet is up. Like at 2015, they need to change the whole squad. Literally, like that Balotelli, Telly. That's it. This is everything. They need to change the.
And I think Alex will know well for Chelsea, because even for City, like people were saying, oh, City needed to buy a new whole team every season. But if you look at it from a manager's perspective, right, like you need players who conform to their style of play. I think with Chelsea, when if you look at it, when Mourinho was in charge, he had the certain sets of players that he want for the team. And I think every club definitely will have their bad signings. I think with Chelsea, you guys had Eden Mutu, you guys have Kasiragi, you guys had the bad signings who didn't fit the manager's mold of that point of time. So I think for Liverpool, it's really interesting, because when Liverpool went on that season when they won the Champions League, they won the EPL. I think no one talked about how Klopp changed this player to become world class players. And if you look at it, if you look at the team that they have right now, in the past 2 seasons, is practically the same team. It's not as if there are drastic changes that they changed a new goalkeeper. They had they changed they replaced Van Dijk, or even midfield. So I think it's really about coming back to that question. Like you sold off money and you bought Darwin for to be more expensive. When you guys know that actually the place that the position that needed to be replaced is actually the midfield. So it's really the interesting position where Klopp has like is it now that Klopp actually luck ran out? If you look at it, like, oh, he managed to win the title, with the Champions League with, and Salah was on form. Then this season, like what is the reason? I mean, there's so much that fans can blame FSG for not giving in money, because if you look at it, Darwin was an expensive buy. You know, it's not like they paid way cheaper than what they sold money for. You know, it's more. So definitely the funds are there. But is it Klopp's way of like, you know what? I'm not gonna clash directly with the board. I'm just gonna do things to show my displeasure. So I think, you know, from a Liverpool's perspective, this is interesting to know lah, that like where exactly is at fault. Is it, you know, is it FSG not supporting Klopp? Because as it is from a rival fans perspective, the sport has always been there. So is your thoughts about it, man?
Okay, so this is where it gets like controversial, you see, because I want to blame FSG, but at the same time I can't. But when I want to blame Klopp, I can't fully blame because the higher ups is FSG, right? So if I were to blame FSG for not spending more, okay, Klopp wanted to get, for instance, this season, I think it was the guy from Real Madrid, Kamavinga, or however you want to say his name, right? Okay, if you ask me, we were the top team before starting the season, right? Of course we were, because we were obviously not playing any games, right? So in my opinion, why didn't FSG went all out, especially when Liverpool are at their top and when Klopp wants him so bad? So why didn't they just splash the money? Those kinds of instances would just tells me that FSG should take the blame, and it's not, and that tells me like the whole story like of Liverpool, because if Klopp wants someone, especially after winning the Premier League after 4 years, Champions League, and then like if you don't want to give what he wants, especially for the best of us, and we needed a midfielder badly, luckily we got Thiago. So I believe that FSG isn't working with Klopp fully and isn't in it fully, and they're just like riding Klopp's luck until he's done, because his tactics are obviously working until obviously now, because we are seeing the decline of Liverpool. And just to add on about the signings, the bad signings, I think that we haven't made any bad signings because Liverpool as a squad hasn't been of any depth, you see. So even if Keita was bad or is bad, we still needed him in whenever he was in shape, right? So as a whole, I think Liverpool hasn't been spending, I would say, splashing the cash lah, just like Man City was. I wish we were, honestly, because then we would at least get a sniff of a chance of fighting the title every single season, right? But I don't think FSG would do the same, because it's either they are just tight with money, cheap as fuck, or not wanting to be willing to spend the money. So I think that's what Klopp is not being supported by them. So yeah.
Noah, let's pick up this question. This, you can only win football with oil money. but the top of the table is Arsenal. No oil money. It's American money, and still. So the argument about banter about oil money being there, it's really getting old in that sense lah. Because at the end of the day, I think football, I think they are gonna be sustainable. You know, I think with Liverpool, you know, like what I mentioned, you know, if the money's not there, then Liverpool won't be buying any players. You know, Liverpool will be doing a Barcelona, you know, getting players for free. You know, but the thing is that there's money, but it's like what I said. The problem here is that is the communication between Klopp and FSG. Is it running out already? Because as it is, you know, I mean, I'm gonna be controversial here. You know, what if, you know, Klopp says, "Screw this, I'm done, I leave," or worst case scenario, he gets sacked. You know, this is gonna be interesting because Klopp has changed Liverpool to, in a way, to be, is in an essence is the way he plays. You know, because if you look at it prior to Klopp, Gegen pressing wasn't Liverpool's forte. You know, it has always, if you look at it, the fact that you can see Klopp's handiwork in the Liverpool team that won the Champions League, that won the EPL. You know, okay. So Sunil, bringing a good point is, if Poch, Klopp in or Klopp out?
man. No matter how Klopp is doing right now. No. It's still Klopp.
Okay, if it's Tuchel, who is now in the market,
Or Zidane.
Tuchel or Zidane, man.
Why, if I were to choose between them and not Klopp?
Hmm.
Let's just have this football manager fantasy. Klopp resigns or Klopp gets sacked.
I would say Zidane.
You think Zidane can do a better job than Klopp?
Of course not, but if it was between two of them, I mean both of them, then Zidane lah. Because Tuchel has been proven to flop semi-finals and a lot of games. Whenever, let's just put it to just versus Klopp, you see. He lost a lot to Klopp, and just for that, I think Zidane wins it because Zidane won against Liverpool several times. So I think that alone should say a lot, really.
Okay, for that, Tuchel, I think Alex will have a good point. Alex, for your former manager, was he a bad manager at Chelsea?
No, he's amazing. Like when we had Lampard, I was like, we are the top 4 club. And then after Tuchel, he won Champions League, he won the Club World Cup. Like, how can he win that with that squad? He's done amazing work
It's
for
true.
Chelsea.
Yeah. So if you look at it, right, Tuchel, I feel like, especially when I look at the Champions League final, City against Chelsea, right, Tuchel was brilliant. So I feel that conversation, him being one of the managers that could be considered for any managerial positions, right? I think he should be in the conversation because, yeah, granted, his sacking was very controversial, ridiculous. But to do what he did, it's brilliant. It's not that he made mediocre stars. He made players play as a team. That's the interesting part. So who knows, right? I mean, Is may say lah, he wants Zidane lah, but let's see lah. Because at the end of the day, I think with FSG, I think it's the same issue lah. Has always been Liverpool fans have always tried not to go to that FSG in, FSG out battle, but it seems that it's slowly going to that line of, the owners must take ownership. But I think the question here comes back to the point that the owners have been investing. So where does the buck stops actually? Okay, so let's go Sunil. Okay, you too, right? Tuchel is a be bad run owner who doesn't know better what's hard done by. I agree. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I feel that when it comes to like even Chelsea and all, right, they're just burning through managers because they want something which has immediate results. So I think in this day and era, with how much players are costing and clubs not really coming out with the money, and you have to give the managers the time to actually make the changes and everything. Which one of the evident person is Arteta, where you can slowly start to see the changes, which is actually helping him when you give him the time. So that's
True.
what happened when they immediately also sacked Emery at that point of time. He wasn't given enough time. And then now when Arteta is given the time, you can see the changes. So maybe Tuchel, maybe he needed more time. It's just that they just wanted immediate results.
I completely disagree. Like under Ivanovic, yes, we should keep. For me, under Ivanovic, yes, we should keep Tuchel. But under top body, different. Tuchel need to go. It's a question sooner or later because the difference between Ivanovic and top body is he want to build an empire. He want to build an empire that is like something like Man City, Salzburg are doing that. They want to create a feeder club. Tuchel is a immediate result manager. So of course he fit together with Ivanovic. But for top body, it's like he need the control. And what happened is Tuchel is one man. Like you don't question Tuchel, but top body into control his empire. He's going to create Chelsea with feeder clubs. He's going to expand Chelsea to make a new Chelsea empire, and he need his staff to like listen and discuss with him. But what happened is that they discuss with so Toboli wanted to discuss with him on Ronaldo transfer, and Tuchel didn't want to like explain his decision. So you must think as a corporate layer, like Toboli want to create a corporate Chelsea with many franchise, and he need a man that can able to discuss with him this kind of stuff.
So it's more of butting of heads lah, in that sense.
Yes and no, but it's like, and at the same time, Tuchel itself is a short term. It's like a short term manager. Is there to win trophy immediately, but then he need for Toboli, his plan is a long term plan. He want to cultivate the youth player, like there's a lot of youth player that's also about to be Chelsea because of Tuchel, and then Toboli actually step down and tell them, I need you for his plan. So you can see it's different ideology already. And that is that's also part of the reason I think Tuchel won't fit into Liverpool, even though Tuchel is an amazing manager.
Interesting.
So it's like a question of sooner or later, like what Toboli answer is when does he need to set Tuchel?
Interesting. So continue, Alex. Continue. Yeah.
I'm actually like it's a very difficult choice because, as you know, that people are if let's say Potter didn't get any good result immediately, he needs some time to gel. I don't think people will still come back and question about it. Why do you set Tuchel for another normal manager? But it's still a right decision to set Tuchel to move on with this new plan. Yeah. So but I'm still glad that they actually move him out before like it gets hard, you know.
I agree. Okay, this is nice because you know what, it's just gonna transition nicely to the next topic, which is the Chelsea thing. So, but before we go to the Chelsea topic, okay, do you think Klopp will stay this season?
Man, such a hard thing to say. I would say yes, but only for 1 year. If it continues this way, I mean, like continue to decline, I think I'll give it 1 year. Honestly, man. Like honestly, I'll give it only 1 year.
So,
Obviously, I don't want him to leave because, in my opinion, he's the best manager I personally have seen and watched. Right? Not talking about like those big Shankly and all. I'm just saying, like, for me, I think he's the best that I've seen, and how his tactics has worked for us. But if he doesn't get the backing that he deserves and what we deserve, then he will just continue to show what, sadly he will just be out within 1 year, I would say.
okay. So, for the rest of us, do you think Klopp will, grow? Klopp will stay this season?
Yep. I think this season would be pretty much like a make it or break it season for him in that sense. Or maybe with his own decision whether he still wants to stay or not.
Interesting. Alex, what do you think?
For me, it's still a while more. Like if the fan were to get impatient, I think we could be seeing crowd leaving, but we are fan sentiment. That's it's quite 50-50 for me.
Okay, good. Okay, great. Good. Okay. So since we were talking about the Liverpool, we'll go nicely because Alex just now brought up a good point about Tuchel's CV. If let's say Klopp ever leaves or gets sacked, will he fit in Liverpool? Then we will talk nicely to Chelsea. So Chelsea's Chelsea's way this season is like, I will describe in this way. Tuchel's era and Potter's era, and I think Alex brought a good point about Chelsea trying to build that legacy. So do you think, okay, with Potter, no, okay, Alex from a Chelsea fan, seeing Tuchel's era and now seeing Potter's era slowly bringing in, his style of playing to Chelsea. What do you make of it, about it?
Like for me, Tuchel is like amazing. I love Tuchel, and like, but then, yeah, if my heart were to accept Toboli, Tuchel have to go. But but then I don't think that Potter is a very good manager for Toboli, because like for the past game is like player like Loftus Cheek, Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Christian Pulisic. It's like they were all from Potter have very good tactics, and but then at the same time he's a very good man manager, and the tactics do work. So he have both sides. So I think, yeah, I don't think that Potter is the right man for Toboli.
But okay, but here's the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Graham Potter favors the 3-5-2, right? 3-5-3-4-3 or 3-5-2? Or how does Potter play?
Potter
Does it
play
even-
I don't even know. Potter play different formation every game. I literally when I research, I do my research. Then I was like every game 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2-2, 3-5-2.
Or 3-4-3?
Yeah. All I spend many days. All I go analyze is the Palace game for the 4-2-2-2 game. But what he did, but his tactic is literally countering Palace, because Palace want to create a middle block. They want to stop the Jorginho and Kovacic. So Tuchel have 4-2-2-2 is because the forward and the midfielder was to create space, create more angle. So even with the middle block, they still have space to like get the ball and distribute around. Yeah, so for now, I would think that Potter, like his better day, his tactic is to counter the opponent.
But then again, if you look at Chelsea, right? Okay, Chelsea has, I mean, got to blame Mourinho for it, lah. You know, they have always been a counter-attacking defensive team. You know, with Mourinho, I think Mourinho built that path of Chelsea has Chelsea ever been an attacking team? I mean, apart from the era when you had Vialli, Gullit, and all that. Other than that, I don't see Chelsea as a very attacking team.
They're
You know,
more of a
Chelsea,
defending team.
yeah, they're more of a defending team. So I think, like what you mentioned, Potter, you know, what Potter is doing for Brighton is because he has better players in that sense at his disposal at Chelsea. So definitely, I think he is trying to find whether his philosophy of football of counter attacking can fit. Because if you look at it as it is, like what Noah said, you know, Chelsea has always been a counter attack defensive team. You know, so Potter as a manager, he should be a perfect fit in that sense. Unless you are looking at the prospect that because he has never won a title, you know, he doesn't come in with a brilliant CV. You know. So your thoughts about it, you know, like is he for the long term, will he be able to carve at least a legacy of 2-3 seasons, or you know, Chelsea, the management will feel that we goofed up, we screwed up in that, and then off it goes. What do you think?
For me, it's too fast to say because it's a new management. It's the top body era. Under Abramovich, yes, I will say that it's 2 to 3 years, but under top body, they claim they want it for long term. So it's we need to see how. And then like I don't think Potter is a defensive minded. Like yes, he can be very defensive, but he's a thinker man. Like you see when he together with Brighton actually have in some games they actually attack more over the stronger team. And I believe they beat Man U before by attacking with them. he's unpredictable. I was it's just my problem for him so far is like you can look at YouTube. So far nobody posted a like analysis of recent game. It's because people are still trying to figure out.
Interesting. Okay. We'll ask from the rival fans, Potter's appointment at Chelsea. Guru, what do you make about it? What do you think? Your thoughts?
I thought it was a bit surprising for me. I thought they were going to go for another big name or so. So when they actually went for Potter, it was a bit of a surprise for me. But like what he said, it's still a bit too early as to see how he really fares with them. So it's a matter of time, and then like really analyze how he does things over there. Because sometimes when the smaller club, no offense to Brighton, but some managers come in from smaller clubs to bigger clubs and so on, right? They tend to realize that maybe they're out of their league when it comes to a bigger management in that sense. It weighs down on their shoulders, and then that's when you can really start to see whether they can take the pressure or it's gonna go the wrong way.
Good. Okay, do you think Potter's appointment at Chelsea is it another repeat of how Moyes were, when he was appointed as the United manager, from a big fish in a small pond to coming to a big club, becoming the small fish in a big pond. What do you think? Will he be able to cut it as a Chelsea manager?
Look, I think it's pretty early, and I agree with what he said, which is, from a Brighton, from a smaller club, and then suddenly transition to Chelsea is a bit a surprise. And obviously, I'm still a bit surprised too with how Chelsea sacked, how fast they sacked their managers. And I mean, honestly, I can't really say, but it could end up like the Moyes way, you see, because of how where Potter was at, which is at Brighton, right? But he did a pretty like decent job at Brighton there. So, but I can't say if he do it if he's gonna do it at Chelsea. So we'll see how it goes. It's 50-50 for me, but I think he would do decent because I mean of the players right there as of now. But we'll see how lah for me.
Does this seem familiar to you? Like Roy Hodgson to Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the point of time, I think. Well, how old were you when Roy Hodgson was your manager?
To be honest, I wasn't even like truly watching football at that time.
Oh,
So the impact is not there lah.
the impact not there lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
But this is the thing, like I mean, if you look at it, okay, I think when it comes to managers being appointed by big clubs, right? I think the philosophy must be in tune with one another. Because you see, like I mean, with Arteta, I felt when Arsenal went for Arteta, I was telling, I was talking to my Arsenal supporting friends lah. Was saying that, because I think it's a good fit because Arteta used to play for Arsenal, even though you Arsenal fans don't see him as a legend as per se, but I think being able to cut it at the club where he played, majority of his career would be interesting because I think now if you look at it like we grew up with the players who have since retired and now they are becoming managers themselves, right? It's really very interesting because I think that question was thrown to me like Vincent Company now managing Burnley, like what if Pep goes and then he goes, then City picks him up. I think that philosophy plays a part. I
It's
think
the whole fairy tale story thing, lah.
yeah, it's a fairy tale because like former player, are doing well for the club. I mean, doing well is very subjective. I mean for Chelsea, Alex, Lampard was. I feel that Lampard wasn't a bad manager. It's just that I think because Chelsea's board, they want the instant success, and I think Carl mentioned it best about one of the comments. Was this? He said Chelsea burn managers and win titles and Champions League is the Chelsea model which works. This is very interesting because if it works, I think fans will have nothing to complain because it's like at the end of the day, it's still a job, you know. So when you build that legacy of of like give I think the era of having Ferguson, that empire, or even Arsene Wenger's legacy, I think is really very hard to achieve for managers nowadays lah, because of like what Guru mentioned. It's a very cutthroat era in this season. It's always about like throwing money, giving time, but then if the results don't fit, off you go. That's the reality of things lah. But I think coming back again, the club from the top will have that philosophy of how do we go about running the club. Are we gonna do the like what Cal say, the burn managers but win titles? And it's still considered a win because you are challenging for the titles year in year out.
At the end of the day, the trophies matter.
Yeah,
That is the
trophies
whole
matter.
reason as to why they're doing it.
Yeah, so it's really the interesting part lah in that sense. Okay, Guru, another question. Do you think Arsenal will win and Man City?
Ending of
legacy.
Man City part, I think it's a tad too much lah. Okay, Man City can put one team first at home, and then the away they can just use their subs to play. So ending them would be a difficult thing. But I think it will be a tough fight this time around lah.
Okay.
Like even last season when we played at home with Man City, I know the first, I think it was the third game with Man City, is it? That we had the 5-0. Okay, that was bonkers. We didn't have a few players, but it's not an excuse. You should be already hitting the ground running. And then when we met them back at home, it was really intensified. That means they really fought. You could really see Man City struggling at times. So it was actually Arsenal's game, but then it was bad. But this season, I'm way more confident with the way they are playing because you can see the fight over there. So I don't think they will end Man City, but it will be a very tough fight. As to regards of winning the PL, I think it's a possibility, but it's an uphill road lah, in that sense.
That's a good but I think it will always be talked about lah. Like say the top 5 or the top 6, like will Chelsea come into the equation? Will Liverpool come into the equation with Arsenal? Arsenal now top of the table. I think we shouldn't discount Noah's team lah, Spurs lah.
That's bad.
But Noah,
I don't think we are ever title contenders after I saw how we play against Arsenal lah.
But
then
one
again,
game doesn't define lah. But you guys were bad in the match. But how to say? I think you haven't found your footing for this season yet.
Yeah, we didn't really find our footing lah. And that's the truth also, because I think as a social, I also can say also, like, I mean, we are grinding results out. Let's be real, we are grinding results out. And I think like if we win this game, we are actually getting the most points after 10 games. Like this is one of the best seasons like for Tottenham. That's what they say. But I keep looking at why is Conte putting Everson Royal in the team, and I think as a Spurs fan, I really don't understand that. Like I mean, I really think like why do you buy the Jet Spence, or why? I mean, they say it's a club buy or whatever lah, but then why aren't you using Doherty? I think Doherty has played his best game, right? Then Emerson's 9 games in total, man. This like I really can see there's some problem. Like sometimes I just don't understand Conte's like mindset to things. But I think like in general, I think we are grinding results. So it's a good thing. There's a mentality change, but then I think if Man City plays against us, we are dead already. We are totally dead. I think we will be trashed again. We will be trashed. I think maybe like I think maybe Liverpool also, if they had their big starting 11, their informed starting 11, I think we are dead. We are totally dead. Because we can't even like Chelsea. We were grinding the result out, man. Like Chelsea played their best game, and we were like passengers. Totally passengers. We were just parking the bus all the way. So I really don't know. Like, I think it's just a mentality thing lah. I think there's some difference in that mentality, but there's need to be improvement lah.
But do you feel that maybe that your wins have not been really convincing enough for you?
Definitely. I mean, the Brighton game showed itself. It wasn't convincing.
It
I think
was a tough fight.
many games weren't convincing.
I,
And as
I,
also said to admit,
I do have some idea why he will pick Emerson Royal. I mean, when he was at Chelsea, he used Moses. So I think he needed some the fullback to be attacking and someone that can run out. So
I don't know.
I think that's why he picked
I-
Emerson Royal.
I'm still trusting the process, but
Interesting.
as a Spurs fan, I cannot hope too much, because every time the hope kills me, and I think I already getting a bit of heart problem already. Watching Tottenham every time, bottling a trophy, in my eyes, it just drains me, So let's see how it goes, I really hope we win something,
Okay, so with that, we'll go talk about the mini resurgence of the red half of Manchester, my neighbor. Unfortunately, no United fans want to come on board for tonight's show. Maybe they stuck at the cave lah. So maybe they didn't find out that they haven't got the result that United won lah. So we're gonna talk United bounce back immediately after the 6-1 massacre. Even for me
6-3,
as a
6-3.
6-1. What was 6-1? I hope it was a 6-1 lah. Maybe 7-1 or what. But yeah.
Okay, guys, we have someone who wants to come on board. If you want,
you want to come on board? Alamak. Later this show is gonna be 2 hours.
3 hours,
Even though
actually.
3 hours, we it's not like we don't want you, Amiwa. Okay, we don't want you, Amiwa. It's just that we want to make it as short as possible because everyone. Oh, Zam say you in cave. Ridwan, let's go.
Rizwan, let's go.
Go, Zam say you're in cave. Okay, no, how you want to bring him in, not?
Oh, can also.
Okay.
I mean, up to y'all,
Okay, okay. We'll talk. Okay, I think we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the United resurgence. So they came. They won 2-1 against Everton. Anthony and Cristiano Ronaldo scoring on they were on the score sheet, right?
Yes, the one trick pony said by Mr. Paul Scholes, the one and only Man United legend, has just said has got 3 goals. One famous curler against Man City, 3 goals in 3 games. So I think looking at it, Mr. Goatee is back. Mr. Goatee said Mr. Finished Goatee is back. So I just want to hear from a rival fan of you. Do you think Mr. Goatee is back? Or do you think he will be reinstated into the starting right now?
It's gonna be because I think you see what Ten Hag mentioned, like why the legend didn't play in the derby, right? Is because it was gonna be a humiliating legacy for him. Coming on board as the fact that he didn't even start the game, right? It's already a travesty. Like arguably your best player, one of the best players of what United had in modern era, not playing in the derby. But then again, if you look at it, even if he started, right, I don't think it will change much of the results. Because if you look at it like how United started off, right? Like if you look at it 4-0 halftime. Even as a City fan, like how is that even possible? Yeah, I mean, you may say, oh, it's a City home game. But then again, like when it comes to the derby, and I remember, I think they kind of like drill it in, like when Fergie's mentioned, right, in the Manchester derby, United will never go in as an underdog. Not on his lifetime. Not on his watch. Never on his watch. But then, into that derby, 4-0 halftime, it's not even a foregone conclusion, like how is it United just wilted under pressure with that derby, and even if you talk about CR7 coming into place, it's like even if you look at the front lineup, right, the way they play, it's like the whole thing was out of sorts. Like how is that even possible? Like where is the mentality? Like which player do you want to blame? You cannot blame Maguire didn't start, right? So it's really that interesting part lah. Okay. Oh, so okay. Because one of the hated rivals for United needs to leave. Okay. So let's talk about the biggest rival that you guys have. United. Will they pull the momentum?
Okay, with how, like, truthfully, really, I would come off as neutral. I think that they will pull it, but I think they will pull it through. But I think that they won't get above us. I think we will do it somewhat together. With how ludicrous our season has been, it's gonna be a weird time for us because I think we're just gonna fight until who's gonna be up lah. That's how low I think that we're gonna be. But with Ronaldo playing, I don't think it will serve them any good, especially how they have been performing without him. But as far as the standing goes, I think that we will just be competing against each other.
Okay. So Alex, what do you think? United.
I mean, what I think that it's gonna be like how Arteta try to rebuild Arsenal. The rebuilding phase is gonna be. It won't be a full swing good or full swing bad. It's like I think Ten Hag have like made starting to make a difference, but nothing can be built overnight. So it's still, I think it's still trying to gel the pieces together. But I think Ten Hag is the man to gel Man United for gel mentality. Is the guy to move United forward. But I won't. It'll be a turbulent. I think it'll be a turbulent season. It won't be super smooth, but it'll be better than the past.
So this is like shades of Mourinho. Mourinho's first season, where United first season was also very mixed. Then they got 6 in the first place. Is it?
Perhaps you will put it that way, but I think like Mourinho is a short-term manager, and yes, he will get the player to win the next season, but Ten Hag, I think, is trying to build a new philosophy into Man United. So I won't completely say shade of Mourinho, but you will, you can see the same phenomenon that they will need to rebuild. Maybe next season get better. Yes, I think you can see the trend, but it's a different way of share of Mourinho.
Yeah. How about the Arsenal? How about Mr. 49 undefeated man?
Guru, trust the process. Should you give that nickname to United fans?
Eric Ten Hag tricky
But-
rates.
because they are actually in the position that we were in a few seasons ago. So yeah, they have to trust the process in this sense. And I think the mentality of the players also needs to really come into consensus. Because at times I feel that they're just not cohesive enough at times when they're playing. There tends to be a lack of communication at times. I'm not saying on the entirety, but you can see that loopholes at times that there's not enough communication between them. And some of the matches where they win, it's not convincing enough. Where you can see them trying to struggle over the line, and some is quite good. Like there, you could see like glimpses of real good play when they were playing against Liverpool, and then sometimes when they were playing again, and then with Brentford, who would have even thought that? So it was it's like I said lah. Even Arteta had his times of really bad decision making. So I think they really need to trust the process and really give the time and not just expect them to get top 4 and so on and so forth. Top 4, okay, I still don't think it's possible this season lah. They really need to fight for it in that sense. They really need to get their shit together and keep it consistent. I think the consistency is the only thing which is not happening right now. And maybe they don't play Maguire all the way lah.
Don't blame me. Okay.
I think your meaning of it is temper your expectations.
Yes. Because we always tend to overhype everything, but then when it falls short, right, then that's when they get all defensive and all. Why go there? just be honest with yourself as to what you can do.
I think the pressure is there lah in terms of like I think because of the Ferguson era, right? Like they have been winning so much, right? Like when he retired, I think it's very difficult for the fans to accept the fact that it's on a decline. So I think like what Guru mentioned lah, temper the expectations lah. No, I think the most important part is that as fans, I think you got to temper the expectations of that good times eventually will end. Even if even if you throw that question back to me as a City fan, I dread the day when Pep eventually leaves. What's gonna happen? That is really something that is gonna go up and down. Like, I think it's nothing. Nothing is certain. Change is the only constant, right? Correct?
Yeah, because that much I'll give it to, because if let's say Pep leaves, another manager comes in. Yeah, you got the money to buy the players you want, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your tactics and how you're going to play with the players that you have.
Precisely. Even even for Arsenal, you guys had it. You guys had it also. That era, when Wenger retired. You guys got Emery. And then you guys change. And even for Chelsea, like, Mourinho left. You guys thought, like, oh, that's that. Like who's gonna up Mourinho? But you guys managed to stabilize the ship in that sense. Even can that be yo-yo? So it's really that expectations for United fans have to to be realistic, because like what I said, I think coming back to the point that when we mentioned with Easy, like Liverpool, like there is so much that you can blame the owners. At the end of the day, I think you can blame the owners so much. The managers are the one orchestra, being the conductor in the orchestra. So okay, so we're gonna wrap this up with the final topic. Managed to convince East to stay. Okay, so we are gonna go through quickly for this week's game week 10 this weekend. So we're just gonna go through games and seeing that hopefully you guys don't land on the teams that you have that you support. So okay, so Brentford Brighton, I'll start the ball rolling. I think it's gonna be Brighton and Brentford. Okay, 7 and 11. I think it's gonna be a draw game for me. It's gonna be a 1-1. Yeah. Okay. So Leicester Crystal Palace. Noah, what's your prediction, man?
I think look at Leicester, how bad they are. They are now bottom of the table. No, haven't the Mr. Brendan Rodgers we all thought they was going to get sacked. Haven't got sacked. Wow, I think this is gonna be a 1-3 game, man. Leicester 1, Crystal Palace 3. I think Marissa's got to give me the goods, man. I put in my FPL for damn reason. Yes, to better score, bro.
Okay, right. Okay, so that is gonna be a Crystal Palace win for from Noah. Okay, is Fulham and Bournemouth. It's not gonna be a waste of. I'm not. I don't want to talk about it lah. Waste of time, but just give a score lah. Just go give a prediction.
Mr. Ridwan has commented lah. What?
Bournemouth. So Bournemouth to win it, is it?
2-1.
2-1 to
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
Yep.
Okay, Fulham and okay, it's a 8-9 position battle. Okay. Alex, Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Your predictions, man.
Wolves have some issue with attacking, but I think they're gonna win 2-1.
Oh, 2-1. Bottom, this is the other bottom of the table clash. Oh, Wolves, Nottingham 5-0. Mio will always come up with the prediction. Okay, for your information, Mio is well known in the as one of our Napshot fans that will give a very very wild predictions. You see the predictions. 5-0. Later we'll talk about this. Okay, so Guru, Spurs Everton.
Wow.
Your
What a
prediction.
mess. I think it might still be a close game, but I'll go for 2-1 to Spurs lah.
2-1 to Spurs. Noah, if Noah will be happy. Spurs.
No, because Everton is not playing very bad or anything. They're actually kind of giving a run for the money for certain teams, but they're just not crossing the line. So I think it still might. give a challenge.
This guy giving wild predictions lah. 4-0, man.
Cannot take Mio seriously lah. Cannot lah.
Wow, cannot sia.
Okay.
I think Spurs 1-0 lah.
1-0 lah Spurs lah.
Yeah,
Coming
bro.
from you, no, I cannot lah. You too humble lah. You like tips lah. Okay, for me, Aston Villa, Chelsea. Chelsea
tips,
lah. Chelsea lah. Chelsea to win. Sorry
you know,
lah.
Tiban gonna get mad, you know.
Tiban, okay, for your information, Snapshot Nation, you know, Tiban is one of the panels that we have, you know, at Villa fan. He's always the kind where, you know, he said, Villa's not going to win lah. You know, he said he's not going to watch the game lah. But then, you know, WhatsApp, different story.
And then the volcano will erupt, right?
You know that he will erupt. So cannot take him seriously in terms of. So for this, I would say, Villa to, you know, Villa to lose it lah. I mean, Chelsea will win maybe 1-0. I don't see Chelsea gonna score a big scoreline against the Villa. You know, and who knows? Maybe that will be Steven Gerrard's final game, nail in the coffin, then go. Okay, Leeds Arsenal. Noah. Defending the favor.
Bro, I think Arsenal will win 3-0, bro. 3-0, bro. 3-0 to the Arsenal. To the
3-0
mighty
to the-
Arsenal Gunners, bro.
3-0 to the Arsenal, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, United and Newcastle. Alex. Okay, Alex,
Newcastle-
before you give the prediction, right? Sunil is a Habibi, a Jody Habibi. So you may want to rub him the wrong way because he is not in a very good mood this week lah. Because he got COVID and then he was very active in the chat. So give your prediction.
I'm not gonna change my stance, but will be a tight game. But I think Newcastle is gonna win 2-1
Wow.
Gonna win 2-1, huh?
because Newcastle is a well-drilled team. Man United still need to gel together. So I think that's the key difference.
Where's my Habibi, man?
Habibi,
Needs to be hearing this, man.
Habibi not hearing lah. So Mark is saying United Newcastle 2-0. Yeah, 3-2 United. Wow, interesting. Wow, this is
I just
Neo.
want Trippier to give me some points. And maybe a bit of the Callum Wilson. Maybe 3-1 lah, huh?
Okay, this one Guru. This
Yeah.
one, if this is happening, you look for this guy. Muhammad Ridwan. he is what he called himself, an FPL expert. Okay, so if the prediction all correct, you will see. Okay, now Sunil. Okay, Sunil already say, Alex, say Saudi dirham. If your
What
prediction
is-
is correct, he will transfer you some Saudi dirhams already. So if your prediction of Newcastle beating United come true, look for Sunil.
Sure.
Okay,
I-
let's go Alex. What do you want to say, man? Come on.
I don't. It's for me as a football fan, I don't think it's something surprising, but yeah, I think
Whoa.
Newcastle is going to win for me as a football fan.
Wow. Man.
Okay. Guru, Southampton versus West Ham. And nicely, the last one will be easy. Okay, so Guru, Southampton, West Ham, who's going to win it, man? Your prediction.
I think it's gonna be West Ham lah. I think it'll be 2-0 to West Ham.
2-0 to West Ham. So what is the chat to? No, West Ham will never say okay.
Southampton has not really been on very good form recently, so
Southampton, yeah. But that's the thing. With the last game that City played against Southampton, actually Bazuno did well to give the score.
the glimpses are there lah.
The scoreline is very, the score. He kept the scoreline low lah. I mean, to be honest with you, so I think that's the thing lah. So you said West Ham is going to win, right?
Yeah, 2-0.
Okay. We are gonna close this with Easy giving the prediction for the biggest game of the week on Sunday, Liverpool versus City. I'm not gonna give a scoreline lah. I'm just gonna get easy. So okay, Easy. Before you say anything, right? The FPL expert was saying this lah. Okay dah. Mio, don't try to find trouble. You are a United fan. Liverpool fans will come after you.
Man told me he want me to change the team. Then
Okay, Is. Come on, Is. Your predictions, man. And another one. Liverpool City game, walk over. Liverpool say all injured, who to play? Mio, Highland hat trick. No lah, don't lah, don't say anything. Okay, easy, come on. Shoot, man. Easy. I think Easy is so speechless because we can't hear you.
I think I'm
We can't hear you, Easy. You're speechless with the scoreline 9-0, so we can't hear you.
4-4.
4-4. 4-4.
Wow.
4-4. 8-0. 8-0. 4-4. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Oh, I was like 8-0 for real lah, Easy. 4-4. Oh, 4-4 high scoring. Okay. Okay. Okay, because Easy connection is quite bad. So because he's so speechless of the prediction that
9-0 prediction.
Okay, okay, so Easy predicts 4-4. The rest no, don't want pick up Mio lah. Okay, Noah, you wanted to say something about the petition, right?
Now there's actually an ongoing petition to make Alex the permanent member lah. So currently we have like, I think in the group we have like I think 11 participants. I think 7 participants want you to be a permanent member lah, because you kind of make Mr. Habibi a bit happy today and make his day very joyful after his COVID symptoms. So welcome.
a bit
Okay.
about to join.
Okay. Easy. Are you back online or not? Still speechless. Speechless. I think. Okay, never mind. All right. With that, we will wrap up tonight's show. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Guru. Thank you, Easy, for staying by. For coming to the show. Me, Noah, and on behalf of the Napshot crew, Napshot Nation, we really appreciate the comments that you guys have, your insight, your intake, the banters. Easy showing the Liverpool badge, despite being speechless. All right. With that, everybody, me and Noah say thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's show. And Mio must be the one trying to
If
spoil
anyone-
us in. Need FPL tips, don't hesitate, PM me. Wow, selling point. Okay.
Oh yeah, there'll be upcoming futsals also.
Oh, yeah.
The next one is on a Friday. So if anyone want to come and join, please do join. And please
Yes.
reach out to the Napshot, to the Insta handle of Napshot Studio, or
Yes.
reach out to me, which is on my page there.
Yeah.
And then just DM me lah if you all want to play futsal.
So
It'll be
we are playing futsal twice a month actually. So like what Noah says lah, we are growing the Napshot Nation. We are trying to get fans of the show, fans of the channel to come join us, have fun, play football. So if like what Noah says, if you are interested to join, kick about, no pressure, no, this is not EPL, no, come, don't worry, we're not gonna break legs.
it's for the fans and all for
It's
the fans.
Yeah, all for the fans. Okay, so approach us, DM us in our social media, Instagram, Facebook. If you guys can drop a personal note to our contacts on Facebook as well. Okay, so Noah, last words, brother.
No last words, but good luck. Good luck to Liverpool and Manchester City. This game week, I'll be watching lah.
Okay, if you want one certain FPL tip, don't remove Haaland as your captain. I can say that through social media, online, Twitter, whatsoever, 99% of the time, people will have Haaland in the team. Last season, I think, last 2 seasons, people were having Salah as captain. This season, the flavor has changed from red to blue. So if you have Haaland, keep it. Don't change. Okay. All right. On behalf of the Napshot Nation crew, me, Noah, signing off.
Peace.
Alex,
Thank you.
Guru, Easy, thank you so much for coming and for the comments. Thank you so much for your comments. We really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't pick up every one of the comments. Follow us on our social media. Keep tuning into our show. Share this video. Share the show. Share the channel on your social media. Right?
All
Okay.
right.
With that, have a good week, everyone. Enjoy football. Stay safe. And good night, ladies and gentlemen. We
Good
are
night.
out.
Night.